So, firstly, before I start this video, I want to say the reason why I didn't post yesterday is because I was on a mini vacation. I was not in my house and I could not record. So, today I'm going to be doing yesterday's video and today's video. Both videos revolve around the playoffs. Yesterday's was going to talk about the Western Conference and how they had already started and the teams which already played and how those in the West because the first round really takes 2 days. It's yesterday we got the Cavaliers, the Knicks, the Celtics. Well, no, with the round one, we already have all of the game ones either being played right now, which I'm talking about Thunder Pelicans, or already finished, which I'm talking about the seven other round the game ones which we had. So I was gonna make a video about the ones that were played yesterday, which were Cavaliers, Magic, Timberwolves, Suns, Knicks, Sixers, and Nuggets, Lakers. But since I already, didn't make a video about those, I'm just gonna be talking about all of the games that are currently finished. And I will speak on the Thunder Pelicans and who I think it's gonna win. First, the Cavaliers Magic. This was one of the most boring games in the whole playoff so far. The Cavaliers didn't play great, and Donovan Mitchell obviously popped off. I do believe that the game was mostly decided by the fact that the Magic are better at defense than they are at offense. And when a team is game planning for a terrible offense and a great defense, it is easier to find schemes on offense that work against a great defense than it is to figure out your offense from one day to another. If that didn't make sense, it was going to be easier, for the Cavs to win against Orlando. Especially in the series, it's going to be easier for them because they can game plan for great defense. But the Magic can't game plan to have better offense. Offense comes from the players which you have playing it. And the Orlando Magic don't have great offensive players. Donovan Mitchell was really the star for this game, doing absolutely everything, hitting buzzer beaters, thunderous dunks, that amazing pass to Jared Allen that he had, and really he just took over the game. It was his game to win, and the fact that the Cleveland Cavaliers came out with so much aggression during this game was honestly something that was really good to see. They were aggressive. Even Evan Mobley got that spin dunk just to keep going to the lead, and it wasn't really close. They won by a lot. The Phoenix and Timberwolves game was probably one of the better games in the entire playoffs. Anthony Edwards basically now can play playoff games which are not just playoff games which don't mean anything against Denver, which you're either going to lose or maybe win a singular game. The Timberwolves looked amazing throughout the entire game. Even when they were losing, they looked patient. They looked like they knew exactly what was going on. And with the Suns, they look like they can't figure their defense out. They can't guard a lick. They can't do anything. And it seems like their defense will be the reason why they lose if they lose in these playoffs. I will say that Devin Booker did not play great. He was great in the first quarter and second quarter, but by the third and fourth, he just completely turned off. And in my opinion, Kevin Durant was Kevin Durant this game. He scored 31, and it looked like a regular season game for him. But in the end, it was mostly the Anthony Edwards show, as in that third quarter, he just took over, making basically everything to win the Timberwolves the game and create that huge separation, which in the end basically gave them the W. Naz Reid was great. All of the Minnesota players played their role pretty well. And in the end, I do want to say shout out to Karl Towns and Nickeil Alexander-Walker for being, great in this game. Then you have the Knicks versus Sixers, where the Knicks actually won. The Sixers lost Embiid during this game because he had such a thunderous dunk that he had to be taken out. he threw it off the backboard to himself, caught it, and then got the lob. And in this game, Philadelphia was winning throughout most of the game. They were having a great and very good game, but it was really that fourth quarter by New York which won them the game. You know, the game was up close, and then New York took a lead, and then they just ran with it. You know, they just kept pushing the lead, and I believe that Jalen Brunson in the fourth quarter was like no player we've ever seen, in the sense that in MSG, when it mattered the most, they played great. I do want to say that I liked how the New York Knicks used their entire team. They didn't just focus on giving minutes to some guys, they used everybody. And it worked out great for them, as Miles McBride had 21 points. Josh Hart was the MVP of this game, if we're being 1,000% honest. And Bojan Bogdanovic actually played amazingly. I feel like the Sixers, their biggest problem was that they didn't use their role players nearly enough, even though their starting lineup played great, right? For the next game, the Nuggets Lakers, I don't want to speak about this game. You know what happened. LeBron and AD actually played great, and in the first quarter, they came out swinging. They had a real big lead going into the second, but you know what happens in these Denver and Laker games. They play the first half, they play out swinging, but since the Nuggets never really put 100% in, they always put about 70% for the entire game, and then they just turn it up at the end to make sure that they win. That's how they play. The Lakers always come out playing 100%, and then by the end of the game, they play about 50% because they're tired. And it works because Denver just wins. They obviously had that amazing fourth quarter, and the Lakers could not do anything, especially when Jokic made that 1-3. And with 1 minute left, when Jokic got that dunk when LeBron tried to block him, we knew the game was over. And the Lakers still haven't won against the Nuggets. I'm going to say a few games quickly because it was really easy what happened. The Bucks-Pacers, Dame dropped 35 in the first half. He was the MVP of the game. Like, Giannis didn't even play this game. I think he's injured right now, and they still won. Pascal Siakam had 36 and 13, and his team still couldn't even get 100 points up. That's how you know it was bad. With the Clippers and Mavericks, this is actually a game where we have to say, like, James Harden carried this game, and honestly, with that being said, I think that a lot of the teams are going to rest their stars right now and trust on their benches in these first games because they do not care about them that much. Kawhi didn't even play, and James Harden just carried. And though that quick lead by the Clippers, just making a lot of shots, making sure to take a lead quick, and just basically holding on to it for the entire game was something to marvel at. They won this game at their home, and it never looked like they were going to lose. Luka and Kyrie both dropped 30, but they just couldn't do what the Clippers were doing. And in the end, it seems like playing Daniel Gafford for the end of the season wasn't in the plan for the most important game of the season so far, which was weird to me. And finally, we have this Celtics Heat game, which obviously you guys know how it went. Even though the Miami Heat did only lose by 20 points, not having Jimmy in the lineup hurts, and even though they played a great first quarter, the Celtics just consistently kept the lead. And the real reason was because of just the depth. Like, the Celtics, they didn't do much. They played Celtics basketball. Tatum got a 23-point triple-double, which was a great stat line, and he played like a star. But everyone else just kind of did their thing. Jaylen Brown had 17, Kristaps 18, Derek White 20, Al Horford 10, Sam Hauser 12, Payton Pritchard 8. For the Heat, Bam Adebayo tried, Tyler Hero played like trash, Jaime Jaquez Jr. tried, and yeah, the Heat looked kind of sorry. The best player for the Heat was DeLon Wright. Well, the most unexpected player. But without Jimmy, they might not even get a game on the Celtics, because even though Spo is a great coach, like the Heat without Jimmy are pretty weak in the playoffs. If we're being, and that's coming from a Heat fan. So yeah, I hope we win this series, but how it's looking without Jimmy, I don't think we'll have much of a chance.